Hello, today we will start with C part of chapter first, that is measurement of time and simple pendulum. As we have seen, pendulum clock in offices or at homes, and this pendulum clock is used to measure the time, and this measurement of time, it is based on the periodic oscillations of pendulum. So we have pendulum clock and it is used to measure the time, and this measurement of time is based on the periodic oscillations of pendulum. So we will be discussing first principle of a simple pendulum. So what do we mean by simple pendulum? It consists of a small mass. Suspended by a rope. So here we have the rigid support. This is a string, a rope or string we call, and a small mass is there. This is simple pendulum. So simple pendulum, we can define it as it consists of a small mass suspended by a rope, or we can call it as string. Now this string or rope has to be massless, and unstretchable, that is inextensible, that is it cannot be stretched, unable to be stretched. So what kind of string should be? It should be massless and inextensible. So this is an ideal case. We assume that the string or rope is massless. Thou, no matter is massless. So rope or string, we assume that it is massless and inextensible. Now what about the small mass? It is a point mass we consider. That is, all the mass is concentrated at a small point mass. We assume that all the mass is concentrated at a point. For example, the center of gravity of this is the point, the center of the sphere. This will be the point mass. We consider that all the mass of the bob is concentrated at a point, that is at the center of gravity of the sphere, and that will be the center of the sphere. And here we have assumed that rope or string has no mass. This is our assumption, no mass. In simple words, we can say its pendulum is just a mass. It is just a mass. Simple pendulum is just a mass, m we denote, connected to a string of some length L. So its mass we consider as m, and this length of the string L. So it's just a mass connected to the string of some length L. Now we will discuss effective length. effective length of a pendulum. So we have seen the length of the string. Length of the string, let it be L. Now we will be discussing effective length of a pendulum. It means it is the distance. How we can define? It is a distance. It is the distance from the point of suspension. From the point of suspension. So this is the point of suspension. This is the rigid support, or we call it as a pivot. Here, this is the point of suspension. From the point of suspension, it is distance from the point of suspension to the center of gravity of the bob. So this is our bob. This mass is called as bob, to the center of gravity of the bob. So from this point, this is the string. This length is L. From this suspension point to the center of gravity of the bob, this length. So from this point to here, this length is effective length. We denote it by L. And this length will be equal to this length L plus radius of the sphere, radius of the bob. So effective length equal to length of the string plus radius of the sphere, radius of the bob. So it is the distance from the point of suspension to the center of gravity, to the center of gravity of the bob. This sphere we call as bob, of the bob. So this length, this is the effective length, we denote L equal to L plus R, length of the string plus radius of the bob, radius of the sphere. This is our effective length. Now we discuss the mean position. Mean position of pendulum. So effective length we have discussed. Simple pendulum we discussed. Now we are discussing mean position of pendulum. As you see, as it is suspended from the pivot, or we call it as from the suspension point. It is the resting position of the bob. It is the resting position of the pendulum, and this position is called as mean position of pendulum. So it is the resting position. The resting position of the pendulum. So what is the mean position? The resting position of the pendulum. It is just resting at this point, and this position we call as the mean position of the pendulum. This is the rigid support. This is the pendulum. Bob is there, pendulum is there. This is our simple pendulum. Now this is its mean position. This is its mean position. Mean position. Now if I pull back, I pull back the bob to a certain amount and then let it swing, and then I release it. So for example, I have brought the bob to here. Now I release it, I let it swing. So what will happen? It will move towards its mean position. It moves back towards its mean position, then to the other end. So it will swing from here to the mean position, then here, and then back to here, then to the other extreme end. So these are the extreme positions. This is the mean position. So it will be having to and fro motion around its mean position. So as I pull back by a certain amount, and then I let it go, I let it swing back and forth. So this gonna swing forward and back, then backward. So this gonna swing forward and backward, and forward and backward. So it oscillates, It's to and fro motion. It oscillates. It gonna swing forward, backward, forward, backward. So it oscillates. This motion is called as oscillations. So if we take the motion as this is the mean position, from here let it be B position. It moves to A position, one extreme end, A position, then back to the mean position, then to the other extreme end, C position, then C to back to the mean position. This is one oscillation. It moves to one extreme end, come back to the mean position, move to the other extreme position, then come back to the mean position. This is one oscillation, one cycle, one vibration. We call it as one oscillation, one cycle, one vibration. So now we'll be defining oscillations. Oscillation, oscillation or vibration. So how to define oscillation? It is one complete to and fro movement. To and fro movement of a pendulum about its mean position, about its mean position. So oscillation or vibration, how it is defined? One complete to and fro motion. So from mean position it moves to the one extreme end, came back to the mean position, moved to the other extreme end, came back to the mean position. This is called as one oscillation. So it will be keep vibrating. It goes there like this. It will be vibrating. It will be moving forward and backward about its mean position. It will keep moving around about its mean position. Now we will be discussing amplitude. So amplitude is the maximum displacement. The displacement from this position, the maximum displacement from the mean position. The maximum displacement from the mean position. That is called as amplitude. So amplitude is the maximum displacement from its mean position, from its mean position. So amplitude is the maximum displacement from the mean position. How far it has gone from the mean position. This displacement is called as amplitude. Now we'll be discussing period, time period, time period. So time period is defined as the time taken for the one oscillation, the time taken for one oscillation. So time taken for one oscillation, that is the time period, and it is denoted with capital T. Its symbol is capital T. It is measured in seconds. So its unit is second. So time period means from the mean position it moves to the extreme end, to the other end, then to the mean position. So how much time it takes for this one to and fro motion. For one oscillation, how much time is being taken, that is the time period. It is denoted by capital T. Now we will be discussing frequency of oscillation. Frequency means number. Frequency means number. It is the number. It is the number denoting how many oscillations made in 1 second. It is the number that denotes, it is the number of oscillations. It is the number of oscillations made in 1 second. Made in 1 second. So in time of 1 second, that is in 1 second how many time it moves to and fro. So how many oscillations it completes in 1 second. That number of oscillations will be the frequency of oscillation. And there is a relation between time period and frequency. So frequency is denoted with F or N. Its unit is hertz. We denote with Hz. Now there is a relation between time period and frequency. Frequency equal to 1 upon T. This is the relation between frequency and time period. Time period is time taken for one oscillation, and frequency means how many oscillations made in 1 second. And how they are related? Frequency equal to 1 upon T. For example, time period of one oscillation, let it be 0.2 second. So by this definition, frequency will be F equal to 1 by T, 1 by 0.2 second, equal to 5 per second. It means number of oscillations, how much? 5 oscillations in 1 second per second. So this pendulum makes 5 oscillations in 1 second. This pendulum makes 5 oscillations in 1 second, or we can say 5 hertz. So 5 oscillations per second. This pendulum is making 5 oscillations per second, and its time period is 0.2 second. That is, it is making 1 oscillation in 0.2 second. In 1 second it will make 5 oscillations. So frequency is 5 hertz. Time period is 0.2 second. And how they are related? They are inversely related. Frequency equal to 1 upon T, or T equal to 1 upon F. If one quantity is given, we can calculate the other.